Cowboy Chuck, doing another video in the series for Squad Basics. And this episode is going to focus on improving in-game awareness. So, how do you improve in-game awareness as a new squad player when you don't really know what's going on to begin with, right? So here's some tips and tricks to help you get over that hump and figure out what's going on. So, first thing we got to do, we got to pick a faction, right? So we're supposed to be on the British faction for this round. Okay, first things first. This is your first opportunity to improve your overall in-game situational awareness before you even spawn in. Number one, what map are you playing? This one is Cora, okay? Which automatically in your head, if you play the game more than 25 hours, you've probably played Cora at least once, probably 2 or 3 times. And you understand that Cora, for the most part, is a linear map, albeit slightly tilted. But in total, it's a linear map. You're going primarily east-west with slight north and south, alterations of progression depending upon cap or objective layout. Okay. For this particular one, Raz V2, it's British versus MEA. First thing that should pop into your head is understanding, okay, all of the enemies are going to be in tan uniforms. So right away, okay, if I'm looking downrange within 100 to 150 meters, I should visibly be able to tell whether that's a friendly or an enemy based upon uniform alone. Second thing, the sounds. The MEA primary weapon, G3 and HK based, have a completely different noise signature, noise profile relative to the British L85 and Bullpup and L86. Okay? Third thing, their vehicles are the Samirs. The Samirs are basically a modern version of the old Willys Jeep from World War II. Okay? Super fast, which means they can, at the start of the round, get further along in the progression of the map than you as the or as the Blue 4 faction. So that means pick a central part on the map, and more than likely by the time you would get there as the British faction, if the opposing team has the same mindset, they're going to already be there because their vehicles are faster. So that's just some of the things to improve your situational awareness right off the bat. Next thing you do, when you spawn in, right? So we're going to be joining an actual match, but we're going to go into admin cam so I can show you some of the things to think about. Okay, so when I go into admin cam, I have admin rights, so I can see everything that's going on. But you as a new player are not going to have this same view that I have. But what I'm going to try to portray for you is things that you can utilize to process in your brain to help increase your on-the-field awareness or situational awareness. So right now you can see this match is literally 10 minutes old. So that means 1, maybe 2 objectives have been captured by each faction, right? This is Raz V2. The V2 layer on Cora, if I recall correctly, is a 5 cap layer, and you can always tell whether it's going to be a 5 cap / 5 objective layer based upon the spawn point of the Op4. If their Op4 faction spawn is in the lower southwest corner of the map, it's a 7 objective layer. If it's up in the northern part, near central point, it's going to be a 5 cap layer. That's the easiest way to tell the difference, okay? Because if up here with this spawn point up in the Delta 7 area, there's not enough space to do 7 objectives. They would literally be on top of one another. All right, so for the most part, you look at MEA main, British main. All the objectives are going to be in that line, within 300 to 400 meters north and south of that central line. So it's going to be very clustered. It's going to be very claustrophobic, so to speak. So a lot of the engagements are going to be up close and personal. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to spawn at main to avoid impacting anybody's, progression, spawn in and get killed by accident. But so by looking at this right now, you can see that hemp farm is the third objective. That's the central cap. That's where the majority of the fighting should occur on the map, is in and around the hemp farm area. Okay? You can see already before you even spawn in and join the squad, you can see there's been a lot enemy logi spotted near Poppy Farm, just southwest of Hemp Farm. Okay? You've got enemy markers up at Vineyard. You also have an enemy logi with a fob indicator on the southern side of map, southwest from Radio Tower. Okay, east of Radio Tower. This right here is called Butchers, right here, this area. This is Lavender Estates, which used to be called Lilac Estates, this building right here, and that's just because of the lilac fields right here. So already you've got an enemy spawn point that's been confirmed. You have a potential enemy spawn point over at Vineyard because you've got a Logi truck. It's either at Poppy Farm or at Vineyard because of the presence of a Logi truck. And then you've got the presence of enemy marked on the west side of the map near the Vineyard Poppy Farm area. The next objective most likely is either going to be Orchard up here, Upper Orchard, or it's going to be like down here at Lower Orchard, somewhere around here. Okay? So let's spawn in. Let's go see. We'll go into admin cam. Let me go over here, out of the way. Okay. So, we're going to go over here. You can hear mortars going off.
We can get a repair station up as well.
All right. You can hear mortars going off. Let's see. Let's go over here where some of the Red 4/MEA actions are. Okay. I want you to just listen to the weapon sounds. All right. This gentleman right here, Robbie, this guy at G3. All right, so they're pushing this objective. While holding this objective, you should have people watching all sides. So if you're going to have a mortar fob, then you've got to have multiple people. Did you hear that? Hear that sound? That's the G3 sound. Okay. That was the L85 sound up top. The L85 sound is much higher pitched compared to the G3. So he already knows. He already knows that there's somebody over here. He doesn't know how many, but he does know. So that was an L85.
All right.
They're pretty close.
Okay.
Those shots are real close.
You've got a guy in the actual hab right here. They're not paying attention. This guy's digging the hab. Nobody's paying attention. They don't have very good situational awareness. They're not listening to the footsteps. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, they're real close.
Hear that sound? Close your eyes and listen to that sound. That's a G3. That guy should have killed that dude. There's the L85.
To dig this mine up behind
so,
us.
we know that, this is where situational awareness comes in, right? Okay, if you check in your map frequently, all of a sudden you noticed that your hab disappeared. It's not spawnable anymore. These guys right here, they're not responding to this. They have very poor situational awareness. They're not paying attention. They don't understand that their hab is not spawnable anymore. They're focused on this guy over here versus this guy over here. You can hear it. You can hear the digging sounds. They're hiding over here on this super fob. They have very poor situational awareness. All right. So those are things that you can do. Check your map frequently. Look and see what your different factions are, what the sounds are going to be. Pay attention to the sounds of the vehicles. That's G3 sound. Mortars are identical between factions, so that doesn't matter, right? Okay. So now when you look at your map, even though I can see this stuff, these guys can't see this, right? They don't know that there's an enemy hab here, right? All they know is they've got enemy coming to them. right? Now, if these guys over here at Radio Tower were paying attention and looking behind them, they should have heard these G3 sounds. So they should have been looking this way to see and call out enemies in this area. So listening to those sounds gives you an orientation or a indicator as to where the enemies are. I mean, that you can hear how loud that truck is. If you're running anywhere, so right here, you can hear that truck from here. That's 70 meters away. I can hear that truck because of its revving engine, okay? Because I recognize the sound of that truck. I know what it is. Okay, that's an MG3, basically a modern version of the MG42, okay? All right, so that sound right there, that gun sound from the vehicle right here, I knew that was a scout car right here. So up close, that's what this sounds like. Hear the engine? That sound is consistent across layers, across the Russian, insurgent, militia, and MEA faction. All four have that vehicle on their layers. They have that same gun and that same engine sound. So you just have to learn to pick those things up by sound. Well, how would you know that's the case? Very simple. Press enter and go over here to this vehicle icon up on the top right hand corner. Click it once it pops up and it'll stay static for about 15 seconds. This is how you improve your awareness. You know you're facing MEA. What vehicles do they have? They have the Ural logistics and transport trucks, consistent sound across the game. They have two Samirs, those fast little techies with the MG3 machine gun. They have the BRDM, aka Scout Car, and they have the MTLB, which is a tracked vehicle. So you know if you hear tracks in the game and you don't see your vehicle on the map near you, you know that it's the enemy MTLB. There's what the Smear Techie looks like. I call it a Smear Techie, but it's basically, you know, a Willys Jeep. Listen to the engine sound. Nothing else in game sounds like that. Let me go over here where you can... There you go. Nothing else sounds like that in game. All the Smears sound exactly the same. Alright, let's see if there's any other vehicles, any other things. Okay, so awareness. You know if you're over on this side of the map, you can hear those mortars firing. So you automatically know, because of the mortars, you know that they have a fob in the orchard area, because you can't place down mortars or emplacements without an active fob with supply points. So you know there's an active fob up at orchard somewhere. Just in general, what that means is it's highly likely that people are going to be coming from that general area. They're going to spawn and come over to this area, right? So these are just some tips and tricks on how to learn what's going on in the game. Before you spawn in, take a moment and look at what the enemy faction is, or the opposing team is, so you can get an idea of what their uniforms look like, what some of their weapons are, and then that should trigger in your head sounds. And then also, when you get ready to spawn in, check and see what layer you're playing. Is it a RAS layer? Is it an AAS layer? Is it territory control, insurgency, invasion? All of those things are going to give you clues as to how the map is going to progress. After you have all that information and you choose your faction you're going to spawn in on, then you need to figure out what your squad is doing, right? Or what's going on. And that's where you raise the awareness of what's going on the map by looking and seeing what active indicators are. And you ask your squad leader, you know, that fob that's marked on, you know, what was it? Golf 8. Has it been confirmed whether that's an enemy fob/hab? Is that confirmed? And he says, no, we took that out 2 minutes ago. Okay, well, I don't need to spawn down there, right? I can ask my squad leader, where do you want me to spawn? So these are just tips and tricks to help you gain your awareness, learn the game, improve your overall awareness in game, and then apply that from match to match. So a couple other things you can do. This one's a huge one for me. All right. If you look here on the British side, you'll see not a single rally point has been placed. Okay? Maybe that's because they're a little overconfident. I don't know. They shouldn't be too overconfident on this map. The tide can turn super fast on this. But rally points are an exceptional indicator of movement. Because if you place a rally point, so here's an example. So let's just say we're on this mortar fob back here, right? What I would have done, since you've got the hab on the western side of the compound, remember it just got overrun and we got attacked from the south side, I would immediately go over here and say, hey, squad leader, let's head south and let's go put a rally point on the southern side of the map, because we just had some guys flank from that location, and also in case the hab gets overrun, we have an alternate spawn point to come back and potentially defend the area, right? All right, so what you can do, since you know that the hab and the spawn point's there for the team, you could put your rally point back here in this compound, or you could put it.
I have an enemy attacking near me. If somebody
You could put it back here in this compound right here, right? Just pop it inside one of these rooms. That way, in case your spawn point gets overrun, you have a way to spawn back in. On the flip side, you could put your rally point inside this area right here. Like, even though you've got the team spawn there, you could put your rally point like just on the inside of this wall right here. And then if those guys try that same flank to try and come around this corner again, immediately your rally will disappear. And you don't even have to mark it on the map, so to speak. You can just call it out and say, oh, we got enemies on the south side, rally just got popped. You know, things of that nature. So that's the clear method to improve your overall situational awareness in this game. You want to check your factions that you're playing against. Get in your mind's eye the weapon sounds. And you can confirm them once you get in game, obviously, because you just listen to the sounds of the engagements. There's a noticeable difference between the sound signatures of the enemy versus the Blue 4 factions. There's going to be a clear delineation. Even if you're doing Russian versus militia or militia versus insurgent, which have primarily AK-based weapons, the AKs do sound different from one another. And once you learn that subtle difference, it's easier to point out the enemies. Understanding the loadouts of each faction, so you know what the automatic rifles and you know what the machine guns sound like, and you know what the grenadiers sound like, or the lats and things of that nature. Next thing you're going to do is, once you get to the spawn screen and you get ready to choose your squad, you're going to click that vehicle button in the top right. You're going to click this vehicle button right here, click it one time, or click it twice. So you mouse over it once, click it to hold it static, check the vehicles in play, and then go from there. You'll know whether or not you need to spawn in as a lat kit or not. And then once you get on the battlefield, you know, you're getting ready to spawn in, check the map for fob indicators, directional movements, where your squad's located at, how are they oriented to an active objective, are they flanking, are they actively attacking what's an enemy fob marked, you know, things of that nature. So all of those things are key. Was that a rally point? Or was it? Yep, there we go, there's a rally point right there. So this is an attack rally right here. These rallies are placed to attack this area over here, right? It's not hidden very well, honestly. He just picked it up. You'll notice he just picked it up and disappeared. He picked it up, so he should push it somewhere else. He might push it up behind this building at some point, or push it up forward. I personally would have left it there, maybe hidden it just a touch better, but it's just all situational, right? But all of these things, the sounds in game, give you an indication of what's going on. Pay attention to those sounds, learn them, they're your best friend. Because even if you don't have a squad that's communicating with you, you can use the in-game sounds to identify what's going on and help you learn. A lot of times as a new player, I'll be honest with you, tell your squad leader you knew, spawn in, and then honestly, don't say another word. Play a round or two as if you've got a muted mic and just listen. Let the game teach you from an oral standpoint with the sounds in game, and over time you'll find yourself getting better and better and better, and you'll start to learn how to read the game and learn what's going on without hearing any comms at all. You'll be able to tell by the sounds in the game what's going on. So hopefully you found that interesting. We'll expand upon that a little bit more and maybe take another match into play here, and we'll start talking about planning for action based upon sounds, right? Or what's your awareness indicators on what your next action should be, things of that nature.
Command, do we have anybody
Again,
available
my
to
name's
do
Cowboy Chuck.
modular
I'm on
construction and
Twitch
ammo? 50-50.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, usually around 9:30 p.m.-ish. Sometimes it's earlier, sometimes it's later. It just depends on what's going on with the family, and what we got on our schedule. But again, look for me on Twitch, drop a follow, come hang out, ask questions, and we can talk about some of these things in game. You can ask me, and if you want to squad up with me and join me, I'm typically on the playground servers. I'll be glad to take you out on the battlefield with me. Thanks again. Have a great day. See ya.